Let's be real, being a people pleaser is exhausting. It's like you're giving away pieces of yourself to everyone around you, and at the end of the day, you're left with nothing. You're probably thinking, why do I keep doing this? Why can't I just stand up for myself and say no without feeling guilty? Well, you're in the right place, because today we're diving deep into how you can stop being a people pleaser, set healthy boundaries, and start prioritizing yourself. Imagine this: being able to confidently say no without feeling like you've disappointed the whole world. Imagine yourself setting boundaries that people actually respect and finally feeling valued for who you are, not just for what you do for others. Sounds amazing, right? In this video, I'm going to share practical tips and actionable steps that will help you transform from a people pleaser into someone who stands their ground with confidence. We'll talk about why you might be struggling with people pleasing in the first place, how to recognize the signs, and most importantly, how to break free from this cycle. Stick around till the end, because I've got some powerful insights and strategies that are going to change the way you interact with everyone around you. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. So, if you're ready to take control of your life, stop being used by others, and start being the confident, self-assured person you know you can be, then keep watching. Let's get started. But before we start, make sure you've subscribed to our channel. Let's start by understanding why we become people pleasers in the first place. Often it stems from a desire to be liked and accepted. Maybe you grew up in an environment where you felt that the only way to get love and approval was by making others happy. Or perhaps you're naturally empathetic and hate the thought of disappointing others. For many of us, people pleasing is a way to avoid conflict and maintain harmony. We fear rejection or criticism, so we go out of our way to keep everyone around us happy. But this comes at a high cost to our own well-being. If you are available for everyone all the time, people don't value you. I know it's weird. You're thinking that if someone stands by you all the time and is always there for you, they should be seen as valuable, right? But in the world we live in, my friend, it's a cold world. You can't do anything about it, my friend. You have to understand that's how the world works. There are various reasons why people become people pleasers. One major reason people become people pleasers is due to psychological factors. Often there's a deep-seated need for approval and acceptance. You might have grown up associating your self-worth with how much you can do for others. This often stems from a fear of rejection or abandonment. If you've ever found yourself going out of your way to help someone just to avoid the possibility of them being upset with you, this might be hitting close to home. Society plays a huge role in shaping our behavior. From a young age, we're often taught that being nice, helpful, and agreeable is the best way to be liked. Think about how often you've heard phrases like "be nice, don't be selfish," or "help others." While these are generally good principles, they can also pressure you into constantly putting others' needs before your own, even to your detriment. Your personal history and upbringing are crucial to understanding your people-pleasing tendencies. If you grew up in an environment where your needs were often overlooked or where you were only praised for helping others, you might have learned that pleasing others is the only way to receive love and attention. Maybe you had a parent who was hard to please, or you were always the peacemaker in your family. These experiences can deeply influence your behavior patterns and self-worth. Another significant factor is low self-esteem. When you don't feel good about yourself, you might seek validation from others by trying to make them happy. You might think that if everyone around you is happy, you'll feel better about yourself. Unfortunately, this often backfires, leaving you feeling even more drained and unappreciated. For many people pleasers, the desire to avoid conflict is a driving force. Conflict can be uncomfortable and intimidating, especially if you're naturally shy or underconfident. Saying yes to everything seems like the easiest way to keep the peace. However, this often leads to internal conflict and resentment because you're constantly sacrificing your own needs and desires. Now that we understand why people pleasing happens, let's talk about how to recognize if you're falling into this pattern. Here are some common signs of people pleasing that you should watch out for. Number 1, constant need for approval. If you find yourself constantly seeking validation from others, this is a major red flag. People pleasers often base their self-worth on how much they are liked or appreciated by others. You might constantly ask for feedback or reassurance. If you don't get it, you start doubting yourself. Number 2, difficulty saying no. Do you often find yourself saying yes to things you don't really want to do? Whether it's taking on extra work, attending events you're not interested in, or doing favors that inconvenience you, saying no can feel impossible. People pleasers fear that rejecting others will lead to disappointment or conflict. Number 3, overcommitment. As a result of always saying yes, you might find yourself overcommitting. Your schedule is packed with activities and obligations that leave you little to no time for yourself. This can lead to stress, burnout, and a feeling of being overwhelmed. You might feel like you're constantly running from one task to another without a moment to breathe. Number 4, fear of conflict. Do you go out of your way to avoid disagreements or confrontations? People pleasers often have a deep fear of conflict. You might suppress your own opinions or desires just to keep the peace. While this might help avoid immediate discomfort, it often leads to long-term resentment and dissatisfaction. Number 5, low self-esteem. As I have said before, low self-esteem is both a cause and a consequence of people pleasing. You might believe that your value is tied to how much you can do for others. This belief can lead you to prioritize others' needs over your own, reinforcing the cycle of low self-worth. You might feel like you're never good enough unless you're constantly helping others. Number 6, taking blame easily. People pleasers often take on blame, even when things aren't their fault. You might apologize excessively and take responsibility for problems you didn't cause. This can stem from a desire to maintain harmony and prevent others from being upset with you. Number 7, feeling responsible for others' feelings. Do you feel like it's your job to make sure everyone around you is happy? People pleasers often take on the emotional burdens of others. You might go out of your way to cheer someone up or solve their problems, neglecting your own needs in the process. Number 8, suppressed anger and resentment. Because you're always putting others first, you might suppress your own feelings of anger and resentment. Over time, this can build up and lead to emotional outbursts or chronic stress. You might feel like you're a ticking time bomb, ready to explode at any moment because of all the pent-up frustration. Recognizing these signs in yourself is crucial for making a change. It's not about feeling bad or guilty, it's about understanding your behavior so you can start taking steps to prioritize yourself and set healthy boundaries. You have to understand why being a people pleaser is more harmful than you might think. Understanding the consequences can be a powerful motivator for making a change. Here's what happens when you constantly put others' needs before your own. Number 1, emotional exhaustion. Constantly trying to please everyone is exhausting. You might feel drained, anxious, or overwhelmed. Your emotional energy is spent on managing other people's expectations and emotions, leaving you with little to no energy for yourself. It's like running on a hamster wheel that never stops, and eventually you're left feeling burned out and depleted. Number 2, loss of identity. When you're always molding yourself to fit others' needs, you start to lose sight of who you are. Your interests, values, and desires get buried under the weight of trying to be what everyone else wants you to be. You might look in the mirror and not recognize the person staring back because you've spent so long trying to be someone else's version of good. Number 3, strained relationships. Ironically, people-pleasing can actually harm your relationships. When you always say yes and never set boundaries, people might start to take advantage of you. They might come to expect you to do everything for them, which can create an unhealthy dynamic. Over time, this can lead to resentment, frustration, and even the breakdown of relationships. Number 4, lack of self-respect. When you continually put others' needs before your own, you start to undermine your own worth. You might begin to feel like you don't deserve to have your own needs met. This lack of self-respect can affect how you view yourself and how others view you. You might start to believe that you're only valuable when you're serving others, which is a dangerous and damaging mindset. Number 5, decreased mental health. People-pleasing is closely linked to mental health issues like anxiety and depression. The stress of constantly trying to make everyone else happy, coupled with the internal conflict of neglecting your own. Now that we've covered the consequences, let's talk about how to break free from people-pleasing. Here's how. Number 1, self-awareness and reflection. Start by reflecting on your behavior. Ask yourself why you feel the need to please others and what you fear might happen if you stop. Journaling can help you understand your motivations. Number 2, understanding your own needs and desires. Reconnect with what you truly want in life. Make a list of your priorities and goals. This will help you focus on your needs and make decisions that align with your desires. Number 3, building self-esteem. Boost your self-worth with positive affirmations. Celebrate your achievements and surround yourself with supportive people. Recognize that you deserve to have your needs met. Number 4, developing assertiveness. Practice assertive communication, using I statements to express your needs and feelings confidently and respectfully. Start with low-stakes situations to build your confidence. Number 5, setting healthy boundaries. Identify areas where you need boundaries. Be clear and direct about them, and practice saying no. Remember, it's okay to prioritize yourself. Number 6, practicing self-care. Make self-care a non-negotiable part of your routine. Engage in activities that recharge you and bring you joy, like hobbies, exercise, or relaxation. Breaking free from people-pleasing is a journey, but every step towards prioritizing yourself leads to a healthier, happier you. That's all for today. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content on building confidence and self-improvement. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. I'd love to hear. Thanks for watching.